You've seen the spinning heads, the projectile vomit, and the chilling screams, but what if I told you the horror of The Exorcist wasn't just fiction? It was real, and it happened to a young boy in 1949. Before The Exorcist became one of the most terrifying films ever made, there was a true story. A story that started with a boy, known by the pseudonym Roland Doe. In the late 1940s, Roland was a 14-year-old boy living with his German-American family in Cottage City, Maryland. By all accounts, he was quiet, intelligent, and very close to his Aunt Harriet, an eccentric woman who dabbled in spiritualism and the occult. When she passed away suddenly, Roland was devastated. And not long after, strange things started happening. At first, it was just noises, scratching beneath the floorboards, strange thumps in the night, and furniture that seemed to move on its own. Then, things escalated. Small blue diamond Roland's mattress shook violently. Small blue diamond books flew off shelves. Small blue diamond religious objects shattered. The family turned to their Lutheran minister, who witnessed a chair lift into the air with Roland still in it. Convinced that something sinister was at play, he suggested a Catholic exorcism. But even he didn't know what they were about to face. The first exorcism was performed by Father E. Albert Hughes at Georgetown University Hospital in Washington, D.C. Roland was restrained to the bed. As the ritual began, he broke free with what witnesses described as unnatural strength. He ripped a spring from the mattress and slashed it down the priest's arm, ending the session abruptly. It was clear this was no ordinary possession. Soon after, strange words began appearing on Roland's skin. They weren't scratches. They looked like they had been burned onto his body, rising up from beneath the skin. Words like hell and evil carved themselves across his chest and legs. One word stood out, Lewis. The family took it as a sign. Perhaps they needed to go to St. Louis, where they had relatives and hoped to find stronger spiritual help. And so, they packed up and left, unknowingly heading into the darkest chapter of their lives. In St. Louis, the case caught the attention of Father William Bowdern, a Jesuit priest known for his resolve. Alongside Father Walter Halloran, and with the approval of the Archbishop, they began the most intense and chilling exorcism ever recorded in American history. The exorcism lasted over a month. Every night, they battled the demon inside Roland. He spoke in Latin, despite never having studied it. He spit, cursed, and screamed in voices not his own. At one point, Roland's eyes rolled back, and he growled that he was possessed by multiple demons, including one that called itself the devil. Father Halloran, who assisted in the ritual, later said it was unlike anything he had ever experienced. He never doubted the possession was real. On the night of April 18th, 1949, the climax came. Roland went into a violent seizure. He screamed that Saint Michael the Archangel was battling the demon inside him. According to witnesses, a voice not Roland's yelled, "Satan, I am Saint Michael. I command you to leave this body now." Roland convulsed and then collapsed. When he awoke, he said simply, "He's gone." And just like that, it was over. Roland recovered completely. He returned to a normal life, went on to have a family, and remained silent about the ordeal for the rest of his days. The priest who performed the exorcism filed detailed diary entries, but the church never released an official statement. It wasn't until 1971, when author William Peter Blatty published The Exorcist, that the world learned of the case. Blatty had studied the records, spoken to clergy, and transformed the boy's story into a terrifying fictionalized version starring a possessed girl named Reagan. So, how much of it was true? Some skeptics argue Roland was just a troubled boy craving attention. Others point to signs of mental illness. But priests, hospital staff, and dozens of witnesses reported events they could not explain. Small blue diamond beds levitating. Small blue diamond objects flying across rooms. Small blue diamond supernatural strength. Small blue diamond unlearned languages spoken fluently. And then there are those words, burned into his skin. Even to this day, no one has fully explained them. Whether you believe in demonic possession or not, one thing is certain. Something happened in 1949, and it was powerful enough to inspire a novel, a blockbuster film, and decades of nightmares. The Exorcist was released in 1973 and is still considered one of the most terrifying films ever made. Audiences fainted. Some had to be carried out of the theater. Why? Because deep down they feared it might be real. What if evil really can enter a person? What if faith is the only thing standing between us and something far darker than we can imagine? Because the real horror of The Exorcist is that it might not be a story at all. If this chilling tale intrigued you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more real-life horror stories every week. Thanks for watching, and remember, some stories are best left alone.